One question I'm asked all the time is how much to budget for closing costs when buying a home. The typical answer to this is 2 to 3% of the purchase price, but it really varies depending on your lender, your interest rate, and who you're working with for title and what sort of fees might be incurred during the process of buying your home. Some expenses that are included are the cost of the appraisal. If there's a processing or an underwriting fee, some places charge an origination fee or administration fee. You'll want to get what's called a fee sheet or a loan estimate that lays out all these fees. As a loan officer, where I've always worked, I'm not charging these fees directly, like from me. These are fees charged by third parties. And so I'm always giving an estimate of what I believe the title fees will be. Title fees generally fall in a ballpark. And, from title company to title company, they're kind of about the same. And then the appraisal fee is charged by the appraiser. So those are also, they fall within a certain range and can be looked up ahead of time by your loan officer. Lenders are required to give you a detailed estimate of these fees, especially when you have a full application. We need to give you a loan estimate that lays out everything. So if your lender is simply sending you an interest rate, like they texted you and said, your interest rate is this, and this is your payment, that's not enough information. They need to give you the full loan estimate with all of the costs included so that you can compare and make sure that you're not overpaying for your loan. Closing costs can include a variety of expenses above the purchase price of your property. Common expenses include fees for the lender, attorney fees, title search, title insurance, taxes, and some upfront housing expenses such as a homeowner's insurance, property, and prepaid interest. All mortgages have closing costs. If you hear that there is a no-cost loan, there are costs involved in that. They're moved around or something, but you're paying for the cost of the title agent who's doing the title search for you, of the attorney who's helping you, of the credit company who's pulled your credit. There's so many costs involved, and there's no such thing as a free loan. Someone's paying for those costs somewhere. Closing costs can be paid for by you, the buyer, by the seller, or a combination of the two. A lot of times when people submit an offer, if the market is right for this, then they'll ask the seller to cover closing costs. It's called a seller concession, or some people might call it a seller credit. Each loan product has a different limit on how much you can ask for in seller concessions. So for example, conventional loans, if you're putting down 5% or less, limit you to 3% of the purchase price for seller concessions from the seller. Closing costs can also be gifted by a non-interested party. You can receive a gift from a family member, or like with VA, you can receive a gift from a battle buddy. They don't have to be related to you. FHA and conventional are more specific about who can give you the gift. Sometimes employers have gift options for their employees. Closing costs can be paid for by a credit from a lender. Paid for by a credit for a lender. What does that mean? That means like with interest rates, a lot of people know that you can buy down the rate by paying points or paying money for it, but there are also credit points. There is a credit that comes with the rate. So if you take a higher interest rate and it has a credit, you can use that and apply it to your closing costs. Make sure that when you are budgeting for a home, you budget for your down payment and you budget for closing costs, or you have a plan for that.